Wow, what an uncanny 4 years it's been. Not on YouTube per se, but just within my own life. Just documenting the changes I've been through would take hours. And while I'm sure some of you would be interested in hearing that, I'll spare the majority of my audience who already suffers through just 10 minutes of my grating voice. Self-deprecation, I still got it. Anyways, snark aside, as I sit here working on this video, I find myself within an introspective headspace. In less than a week, I turn 32, and my future and where I go from here is a constant presence within my mind. To those who only consume my YouTube content, you may not know this, but outside of this platform, I've achieved a commendable level of growth, which is still just so fucking weird to think about. Roughly 4 years ago, I began posting blogs on medium.com. All of them were centered around gaming and culture stuff, no different than what I typically write about now. The only difference is that they were horribly written. I'm not exactly a top tier writer even today, but my god, those early blogs were rife with errors, so much so that long ago I removed them. Although I have repurposed some of the ideas presented within them into videos contained on this very channel, and that speaks to the strength of those ideas. I still find they hold merit. And back then, even with bad writing, I was able to garner attention with the opinions and research I shared. With nothing to my name but a few poorly written blog posts shot out into the internet at large, it wasn't long until I obtained writing opportunities at other websites. In hindsight, some of these places I wish I had avoided, but I'm no longer one who allows the mistakes of my past to consume me, so live and let live. Anyways, eventually, my content caught the attention of Colin Moriarty, and I became the primary writer for his side quest content. Together we published quite a few videos, and all of them I'm damn proud of. Sadly, this partnership fell apart when he purchased his own game studio and no longer had time to work in the series. This is when we went our own ways. We're still friends though, so it's all good. Just to backtrack a little bit, at the time he hired me, I was ecstatic. I was still so ridiculously small. If memory serves, I hadn't even hit like 2k followers on Twitter yet, and my best article only had like 20k views. That all changed when a few months later I broke the story of the ESA data leak, and from there on out things moved fast. I was picked up by RT. I wrote articles that garnered thousands upon thousands upon thousands of views. I broke 50k on Twitter, launched a mildly successful Twitch channel, and I began covering riots. Coverage, by the way, which saw some individual clips hitting 5 million views. I had always dreamed of being a writer and a filmmaker, and I had also had dreams of doing something within the realm of news. When I joined the army fresh out of high school, this had been done after I'd been accepted into Vancouver Film School, an acceptance I had to turn down for financial reasons. So with not many opportunities in front of me, and being in a situation at home I needed to escape, I signed my life to Uncle Sam. Thanks to a good ASVAB score, I'd been able to get the fancy MOS of a 46 Romeo. In normal speak, this was a multimedia broadcaster and journalist. It was exactly what I wanted. So in October of 2008, I shipped off to basic training at Fort Jackson, and following that, I was off to AIT at the Defense Information School in Fort Meade, Maryland. I'll spare the rest of the details, but the Army didn't go well. I was eventually medically retired with a VA disability rating of 90%, a score that was bumped up to 100 for unemployability, and then I wasted away much of my 20s. For a very, very long time, I was a sorry excuse for a human. And at the age of 28, I knew I had to change. I was so miserable and unsatisfied. Yet deep down I knew I had the potential to be so much more. So I wrote that first blog post. And years later, here we are. By and large, life these days is good. I still battle a physical issue from the army, and PTSD still creeps its ugly head from time to time. But compared to all those years ago, I'm infinitely stronger, and that strength grows by the day. In some strange way, I put myself into a situation where I had to get strong. And quickly. One doesn't get to lob bombs and stand within the winds of controversy as I do if they're weak. I share all this because I want people to know how much I value what I've built and what I've achieved. I know a lot of people say content creation is life-changing, but for me it truly was. I pulled a hard 180 and completely reversed my life's direction, and that means more to me than words could ever express. Maybe someday I'll go more in depth on just how fucked up my 20s were, but just trust me when I say it was really bad. I was in a terrible place, but the key here is that I can say all that in the past tense. It was bad, because these days things are genuinely good, which I guess brings me to the topic of this video. As I said at the top, I turn 32 very soon, and thoughts about my future swirl throughout my head, and I've decided I want to make some minor and major changes to how I go about making content. At the end of the day, I'm very pleased with the content I've made on this specific platform, and there's noticeable growth in quality, which also brings me joy as I'm someone who loves to improve. But in its current state, I'm not yet sure I can say I'm proud of this channel. I'm happy-ish with it, and I think my videos are certainly good, at least I think so, you guys can tell me if it sucks, but it could be better, and I want to make it better. Starting within the near future will be a shift of sorts. What this means is that I'll be working towards publishing 2 to 3 videos a week, although I want to further branch out into more topics that I love. So there will be a mixture of new and old. What I mean by this is that game reviews, social critiques, Twitch compilations, and coverages of various controversies won't be going anywhere. All the content I currently make now will still stay. But alongside that, I want to add more of what I'm passionate about. A fun fact about me is that I love investigating random things. Just learning in general brings me joy. It's why in a good year I may read 100 nonfiction books, and why I buy textbooks and take stupidly detailed notes about them. No joke, that's how much of a fucking loser I am. I have a shelf full of notebooks that contain notes from everything from pre-dynastic Egypt to the fall of Enron, and it's that love of learning combined with my old wishes to be a filmmaker that I want to bring to this channel. While I'm still learning how to better edit my videos, I don't think I hide my documentary and filmmaking inspirations. As my trans murder rate video has shown, or a select few others, there is a definite style I strive to hit. This even pops up in how I do the hard cut to my logo to begin and end each video. I mention these inspirations because I want to further tap into that by making my own mini documentary films of sorts. How I plan to go about this is by just making videos on random topics that strike my fancy. Maybe one week I'll tell the story about the ancient burial grounds in Noptoplaya and how the movement of rainbelts played a role in the start of civilization as we know it. Or maybe I'll dive deep into the story of Paul Leroux and the rise and fall of his criminal empire. Or maybe I'll do a deep dive investigation into various things that pop up online. The reality is that the possibilities are endless, and this is content that will bring me further joy and purpose in life. So I want to do it. The truth is that I enjoy covering various controversies and outrages within the world of gaming and even society at large. So as said, that current content's not going anywhere. But I also don't want outrage to consume my life or my content, and I think this will provide extra balance. Alongside all of that, I want to introduce some new series. I'm not yet ready to detail all of these plans, but as a teaser, one involves movies based on video games. I think you're gonna like it. As an additional point of discussion, let's bring up sponsors. Regardless of where this channel grows, I'm not gonna do it. I've already turned down companies before, and I'm gonna continue to do so. I'm very fucking particular about not just my writing, but the style in which my videos are presented. And I refuse to break up my videos just to give a shout out to some company whose product probably sucks anyways. I may look into doing affiliate links I can add in the description to a video, but nothing will ever get a shout out within the video itself. All I'll further say on this is that if you like this content and want to support it, I already include ways to do so. It's down below in the description. And I guess that's really it when it comes to my plans. Annoyingly, growing on YouTube in this current climate is tough. The algorithm isn't kind to my style of thumbnail or my style of content, but fuck the algorithm. I'm not gonna let it dictate what I do or how I go about my creative process. I genuinely think I can achieve growth in spite of it. This is because my growth elsewhere has been consistently unconventional. All it takes is hard work and consistency. And while I do the former, I've been admittedly sucking at the latter when it comes to this platform. So the key takeaway from this video is that I intend to become more consistent. But even more than that, I intend to keep chasing my passions, and I hope you stick around for the ride. It may be a random one at times, but this channel is already random, so what's a little more of it? See you in the next one.